Hi guys, I'm Joe Garrett, welcome to the channel. So Neural DSP just dropped some information about their upcoming update, CorOS 4.1.0, conveniently a few days before their birthday sale. And as of today, the 24th of April, up until the 6th of May, you can get 50% off of any of their plugins. Unfortunately, there's no release date yet for CorOS 4.1.0, and we didn't even get a soon. Now this isn't a what should I buy video because of the birthday sale. I'm going to take you through the notes, if you haven't seen them already, regarding the new update, because it's quite big and there's a big update on PCOM, the plugin compatibility for Quad Cortex. And a big hint, archetype John Mayer X is in there. However, if you do want some help on what to splash your cash on in the sale, I do have lots of videos in the gear playlist on my channel if you want to check those out. In particular, there's a John Mayer X plugin preview in there. I think that was when it just came out. Yeah, unfortunately I missed out on this sale because I was too greedy. I wanted it straight away and I wanted to do a video on it showing my thoughts. So yeah, that video's in that playlist. I'm actually going to link a video up here that's quite appropriate, showing off some of my favorite PCOM presets. So let's dig into the notes. I've got them all here on my phone. So the main update that we've got at the top is about Dark Glass Ultimate. So this is probably one of the only negative points in the news. Let's read through it. So Dark Glass Ultimate is a significant update to Dark Glass Ultra, featuring 4 new pre-effects pedals, 2 post-effects pedals, an 8x10 speaker cabinet, EQ with high-pass and low-pass filter controls, transpose, a metronome, a UI overhaul, loads of new presets, and several other quality-of-life features. Dark Glass Ultimate is a free update for existing Dark Glass Ultra customers. The reason this update carries the Dark Glass Ultimate title rather than arriving as Dark Glass Ultra X has to do with the terms of our partnership with Dark Glass Electronics. Where's the stars? Dark Glass Electronics was sold to Korg USA in May 2022, and Doug Castro is no longer operating as Dark Glass Electronics CEO. So yeah, if anyone saw Rick Beato's interview with Doug, you'll understand what that all means. Nearly every plugin in our catalogue is the product of a licensing agreement with an artist or brand. Double star, Parallax and Mantra are 100% Neural DSP's IP and not governed by a partnership agreement. Makes sense. I think Parallax is probably Neural's new version of Dark Glass products. So yeah, I use it all the time on bass, it's awesome. Anyway, where were we? Those agreements include royalties, they have defined terms, and those terms are subject to renegotiation when contracts come up for renewal. This is simply how our business operates, and it means that the conditions governing any given plugin can evolve over time. When we renewed our agreement with Dark Glass, we agreed that the plugin would not be made available on CorOS so as to not make Quad Cortex or Quad Cortex Mini directly competitive with Dark Glass's hardware product range. While we're sad to not bring the plugin to Quad Cortex, we respect that as a legitimate business concern on their part. Because Quad Cortex compatibility is a requirement for the X update designation, the update will be released under the Dark Glass Ultimate name rather than as an X update. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, they're basically saying that they don't want it to compete with Dark Glass products because Doug has essentially sold the company now to Korg. So they've come to an agreement with that, and it's going to be its own separate plugin rather than on the hardware. So we'll come back to this in a moment as well. CorOS 4.1.0 will be the largest PCOM plugin compatibility update we have released. It will bring compatibility for Archetype Petrucci X, Tim Henson X, Rabea X, Misha Mansour X, and John Mayer X, as well as additional free virtual devices and quality of life improvements. We'll share more about this update as we get closer to the launch date. That's pretty cool. I, for one, am really excited about John Mayer X being on there. But again, we'll get through all this first and then we can have a talk about it. The next X updates. The next plugins in line to receive X updates are the Tone King Imperial Mark II and the Morgan Amp Suite. We look forward to sharing more on those when development is further along. Plugins that will not receive X updates. Mantra is a vocal processing plugin. That makes sense. It's not going to receive an update because it's not for the Quad Cortex. The Fortin NTS Suite and archetype Tom Morello will not be receiving X updates. Due to this, we will be permanently reducing their prices from €119 to 54 and $139 to 64 respectively. Both plugins will also be discounted in our upcoming birthday sale. Plugins under assessment. So this is the only thing that's sort of in a grey area. X updating has not begun for the following plugins: Fortin Kali Suite, Archetype Abassi, Mesa Boogie Mark II C Plus Suite, Archetype Mateus Asato, which I'm sad about, and Omega Ampworks Granifier. I've never even heard of that one. What does that do? For any plugin governed by a partnership agreement, the terms of future renewals could affect whether an X update is possible. We have planned above how that works in practice, and we will continue to be transparent if and when those situations arise. And that's it. So, quite a lot of information there. I think the negative points are obviously dark glass stuff. If bass players are big fans of those that use a quad cortex, they're not coming. You'd have to get the plugin separately and not have it as hardware, or go into dark glasses hardware. The other thing is some of the plugins not getting an update. But it makes sense if there's an agreement. I think someone mentioned in one of the Facebook comments today that Tom Morello's got like a whammy pedal, signature whammy pedal or something. So maybe that's something to do with him not wanting to get it into hardware. My hope is that, I really, really hope that these agreement negotiations can't suddenly then pull PCOMs off of the QC. So for example, if one day John Mayer did a deal with someone else and then suddenly they said, I don't want this on the QC anymore because it's affecting my relationship with this company. Hopefully that can't happen, and we're only talking about renegotiations of either becoming an X product or maybe just finally saying, no, we're not going to do that. As for Mateus Asato, you know, he might at some point say, no, I'm not going to go into that. He's just signed a deal with Fender. He may decide he wants to release something under Fender as hardware, and then that's going to be competitive with his plugin on the QC. So yeah, that's the only other negative I find. Everything else seems positive to me. You know, loads of PCOM getting updated, especially John Mayer. So my overall thoughts are positive. I did not think we would get John Mayer in this update, especially with some interviews recently that I've seen on YouTube where they've been talking about it. Yeah, I didn't think we'd get it so soon. I kind of expected Rabia because we got that mono synth in the last update. Also, I'm kind of glad I didn't buy some of the plugins right now. I think the thing that got me onto Neural DSP and back into digital was the Archetype Mateus Asato plugin. It's the first one I tried and I was blown away by it, and it made me buy a quad cortex. But at the time, I saw some conflicting information regarding the PCOM situation with that plugin. Did anyone else see this? But there was a video, I think John Connor was doing like a trailer for it, not a trailer, but a demo. And it said Archetype Mateus Asato X on it. And then every other bit of promo didn't have the X on it. I don't know, I definitely saw that. Did anyone else catch that? So I kind of was unsure whether it would happen, and that stopped me from buying it. I don't know if you've seen any of my other videos, but I'm not a fan of playing into plugins anymore, mainly because of the latency. I've not got the craziest interface. It's good enough, but I'm pretty anal about latency. And I know I get some on the quad cortex, but nowhere near as much as if I'm using a plugin. And also, I just don't know how to gain stage a plugin correctly. There's so much contradicting information on YouTube about that I feel like I'm just not doing it right. And when I use the QC, I know it's perfect. So if you see my John Mayer capturing video where I captured the plugin, you'll see my thoughts on that. And actually, I'm really excited for the plugin to be ported over because I'm going to do a comparison video on that. I'm going to compare how the certain preset, because I captured the default preset. I'm going to compare how that sounds directly from the QC once it's ported to what my capture sounds like. And yeah, then I'll be able to see maybe if I was gain staging correctly. And that leads me on to another point. It's great for me because I'm going to have a lot of content. I'm going to do stuff on the Rabea X plugin, because I have actually bought that one. That'll be, that plus the John Mayer one will be the only ones that I've bought waiting to be ported over, and they're going to be in the next update. And I kind of like how slow it's been. I know some people are going to be thinking the opposite, and I might get some hate for that, but I like the fact that I only have a pool of sounds that I'm using at the moment, and I'm looking forward to using some more later down the line. You know, the Pliny and Gojira plugins and not Rabea, Parallax, they're the main ones I've been using constantly. And there's enough in there. There's so many, plus all the stock sounds you're using. You know, I'm using the Dumble mainly, the one that was put into the Quad Cortex in the latest update. That's my main amp now. So I've got enough sounds to use, and I explore all of those a bit more than I would if I had all of the plugins at once on the Quad Cortex, I think. So yeah, I kind of like how it's been spaced out, but I understand people who have bought like one plugin and they're waiting for that one. Like the, what's the one that's not coming yet? Abassi, Archetype Abassi. I'd imagine people that have paid and bought that are pretty annoyed that it's not coming on there just yet. Regarding the Pliny and Gojira plugin, I have actually done a video on that. So if you stay to the end of this video, I'll link it. But it's basically me showing you my favorite presets from those two plugins. Probably the biggest thing that I'm excited about though is the new virtual devices that they've teased and quality of life updates, because these were pretty major in the last update. You know, we had all those new reverbs, quality of life was better. I think in between there we got like a metronome as well, which is really handy in my teaching. But yeah, I'm definitely going to do a video on those when we know what they are and when they come out as well. But one thing I think we should be grateful of is how transparent Neural DSP are being. And it looks like they're really, really working hard to basically get what people are complaining about sorted. What are your thoughts, guys? Let me know in the comments. And also let me know what content you're looking forward to from me regarding this subject. And I will see you next time.